Hello everyone, welcome to this particular lesson. We shall continue with what we have always been doing. My name is still remains teacher Ambrose, and I'm going to look at mathematics, primary 7. But this time round, we shall continue from where I was taught in the previous lesson. So in this particular lesson, we are going to look at circumference of circles. We're going to see how we can find the length of circumference of the circle. So in our first question in this, we are saying the radius of a circle is 14 centimeters. Find its circumference. The radius of a circle is 14 centimeters. Find its circumference. You will see that I've already drawn my circle this side, and I've indicated the radius to be 14 centimeters. Now they are asking us to find the length of the circumference. When you talk of circumference, circumference is the length of this curved surface. This curved edge. So if they ask you to find circumference of a circle, you must find how long is this curved edge. So in this case, we have a particular formula that we always use to find circumference of circles. And they are basically two, but of course they can always be generated from one. The first formula for finding circumference of a circle is, some people say circumference equals to 2 pi r. Circumference equals to 2 pi r. That is 2 times the value of pi times the radius. Now you will find that some people may not write it like this. Some people may say circumference equals to pi d. Now when you look at this, you might look at them as if they are different, but all these are the same. Because if I multiply 2 times radius, I get diameter. So somebody can say circumference equals to 2 pi r, or circumference equals to pi d. So you can use any of the two depending on what they have given you. So in this case, in our number 1, we are going to use this formula of 2 pi r. Reason being, they have given us the radius. Now in this case, let's use the value of pi as 22 out of 7. Sometimes they require you to use pi as 3.14, but in this particular number we're going to use pi as 22 out of 7. Now, our formula for finding circumference is 2 pi r. So now our circumference now will be equals to 2 times the value of pi, which is 22 out of 7, times our radius, which is 14 centimeters. Now after writing this, your task is just to reduce. So I can reduce this by 7 is 1, by 7 I remain with 2 centimeters. So my circumference will now be equals to 2 times 22 times 2 centimeters. And now when you multiply this, I'll now continue up this side. My circumference now will be equals to 2 times 22, what do I get? It will be 44 times that 2 centimeters. And your circumference will be equals to 44 times 2. You get 88 centimeters as the circumference of this circle. So the distance from this point, if I move round up to this side here, so long as the radius is 14 centimeters, the total distance of the circumference will be 88 centimeters. So that is our example number 1. We are going to leave example number 1 and then we go to example number 2. So you just hold on while I write question number 2. So this is our question number 2. They are saying the diameter of a circular playground is 50 meters. Find the total distance around the playground. And they're saying use pi to be 3.14. Remember, the total distance around a circular playground is the same as circumference. So in actual sense, they're asking us to find the circumference of a circular playground whose diameter is 50 meters. So in actual sense, if I'm to draw, this is how it's supposed to look like. And this is my center, this is our diameter. And the diameter they're saying it is 50 meters. And now they want us to find circumference. Remember in number 1, I told you there are 2 formulas somebody can use. You can say circumference equals to 2 pi r, or you can say circumference equals to pi d, because 2 times radius is the same as diameter. So in this particular number, they have given us diameter. So I will say circumference equals to pi d. Circumference equals to pi d. I'm using pi d because they have given us the diameter. But of course, somebody can even write 2 pi r, but that will require you to first get the radius. But now, because I'm already having diameter, so I'll just say circumference equals to pi d. So now I'll continue and say circumference equals to, now the value of pi, we shall not use 22 out of 7 like in number 1. We shall use 3.14. So I'll now say the 3.14 times our diameter, which is 50 meters. In this case, the simplest way of multiplying a decimal times that 50 is to change this decimal into a fraction. So my circumference will be equals to 314 out of 100 times 50 meters. I've already changed the 3.14 to a fraction, and that is 314 out of 100. So from here I can reduce. I can say this 0 can go with that 0. And then I will say by 5 is 1, by 5 is 2. And by 2 is 1, by 2 I'll get 157. So that means my circumference will be equals to 157 times 1 meter. And my circumference will be equals to 157 meters. Is my answer for question number 2. That means the distance around a circular playground whose diameter is 50 meters is actually 157 meters. So this is our example number 2. We are going to read example number 2, and also we look at another example, which is our last example in number 3. So take a look at it and then we go to number 3. Thank you so much. So up here we have our question number 3. Now question number 3 is saying the circumference of a circle is 44 decimeter. Find the length of its radius. Now when you look at this question number 3, it's slightly different from number 1 and number 2. Reason being, number 1 and 2 they are giving us radius and diameter, and they were asking for circumference. But now when you look at this number 3, they have given us circumference and they are asking for the radius. Now this requires you to use the formula to get what you are missing. Since we already know the formula of working out circumference and now they are asking for radius, let's first write the formula of working out circumference. Since they are asking for radius, I'll use the formula of circumference, which is 2 pi r is the formula of getting circumference. Circumference is the same as 2 pi r. So I'll substitute what I have and then I see what is missing. I'll now say 2 times the value of pi, which is 22 out of 7, times our radius. Since we are missing the radius, I'll say times r equals to circumference, which is 44 decimeters. So we have actually substituted what we have been given. Now r is what is missing. So we have to work out this to find our value of r. So I'll write here that 2 times 22 out of 7 times r equals to 44 decimeters. And now from this point I'll now multiply 2 times 22, which is 44. And 44 times r, you get 44 r out of 7 equals to 44 decimeters. Now when you reach this point, there are very many ways you can find the value of r. Somebody can put this out of 1. So that this side is a fraction, maybe the other side is a fraction. Then you get the LCM of the denominators. Or somebody can even cross multiply. But we are going to get the LCM of 7 and 1. And the LCM of 7 and 1 is 7. So you multiply both sides by the LCM to eliminate the denominator. So I'll now say 7 times 44R out of 7 equals to 44 decimeters out of 1 times 7. So in this case, I'll now reduce this by this to be 1, 1. So I'll remain with my 44R equals to 44 decimeters times 7. From this point now, you will divide both sides by the coefficient of R, which is 44. So that I only remain with R. So I'll divide this side by 44 and this side by 44. And this by 44 is 1 by 44, I remain with R. So your R now will be equals to, by 44 is 1 by 44, you get 1 decimeter. So I'll now multiply 1 decimeters times 7. That means our radius is actually 7 decimeters. So this is the radius of a circle whose circumference is 44 decimeters. So this is our example number 3. And we shall stop here in this number 3. But of course, this time round, I'll leave you some numbers that you can try. So I'll give you some 2 or 3 numbers that you can try at your free time, and then you do it. If you have worked it out, you can even send to me so that I can see what you've done. Thank you so much. So now after this, let's look at some numbers for you to try. So these 3 questions are the ones that you can try at your free time. Please do them, follow the steps we have followed in our examples. You will realize that it will be very easy to answer them, and after answering, please, you can forward to me so that I can check. Thank you so much. This is the end of our lesson. We shall continue with other lessons in other videos. Thank you so much.